Hi everybody! Welcome. So, let's talk about something that can be, well, it can be a little stressful. You've got a trip planned, maybe a vacation, maybe you're visiting family. It's all very exciting, but then you look over at your cat who is probably judging you from across the room, and you think, oh no, what am I going to do with you? Leaving our pets is tough, it really is. They're family. You worry if they'll be okay, if they'll be happy, if they'll even remember you when you get back. It's a whole thing. And finding a place for them to stay, a boarding facility, can add a whole other layer of anxiety. You want them to be safe? You want them to be comfortable? You want them to have a little vacation of their own, not a stressful one? The good news is, you have the power to make sure they're in the best possible hands. It all comes down to asking the right questions. Think of yourself as a detective, a pet detective, on a mission to find the perfect home away from home for your furry best friend. So today, we're going to go through the essential, must-ask questions for any pet boarding facility. These aren't just casual inquiries, these are the questions that will give you real peace of mind. Because when you know your cat is safe and sound, you can actually relax and enjoy your time away. Maybe even send them a postcard. They probably won't read it, but it's the thought that counts, right? Let's get into it. And don't forget to dance. Alright, first things first, and this one is a biggie. You need to walk in there, look them straight in the eye, and ask, what are your vaccination requirements? Now this might sound a little formal, a little official, but it's so important. A good, reputable, top-notch facility won't even hesitate. They should immediately tell you that yes, of course, they require proof of all the legally mandated vaccines. They should have a list ready for you. Think about it. This isn't just about protecting your cat, it's about protecting all the cats there. It's like sending a kid to school. You want to know all the other kids have had their shots, right? It's the same thing. If a place is lax on this, if they say, oh, we don't really check, that is a huge red flag. A flag so red you should just turn around and walk right out. It tells you they're not serious about health and safety, and that's just not a risk worth taking for your little buddy. So, make sure they require the vax facts. Okay, next question. You're feeling good, they require vaccinations. Now you say, great, can I see the boarding area? And let me tell you, the only, and I mean only acceptable answer to this question is yes, of course. There should be no hesitation, no excuses, no, oh, it's not a good time. If they refuse to show you where your cat will actually be living, that is another giant red flag. What are they hiding back there? A secret cat disco? I mean, that would be cool, but probably not. Now, we also have to be courteous. They're running a business, and they have other animals to care for. So, it's a good idea to call ahead and ask, when would be a good time to stop by for a tour? Try to avoid their super busy times like first thing in the morning or during their dinner rush. It just shows you respect their time. But they should absolutely be proud to show you their facility. They should want to show it off. If they're not, it probably means it's not something you want to see anyway. Trust that instinct. So you've gotten your tour. Now it's time to use your senses, especially your sense of smell. As you're walking through, take a good long look around and ask yourself, is this place clean and well maintained? And I don't just mean tidy, I mean deep down clean. Look at the floors, the walls, the corners. Is there dust? Is there stray litter? Is everything wiped down and sparkling? This is incredibly important for your cat's health. And now for the sniff test. What do you smell? With a bunch of animals in one place, you might expect a certain aroma. But a truly clean facility should not smell like animals. It shouldn't have a heavy, perfumey smell either, because that's usually just covering something up. The only smell you should really notice is a faint, clean scent of bleach or a professional disinfectant. That's the smell of safety. It tells you they are serious about sanitation and preventing the spread of germs. If it smells like anything else, it's a no-go. Okay, let's talk about your cat's personal space. Their home away from home. You need to ask, how much space will my cat actually have? Take a good look at the enclosures. Are they tiny little cages stacked on top of each other, or do they have some room to move around? Think about it from your cat's perspective. They need enough space for their bed, their food and water bowls, and their litter box. And those things should not be all crammed together. Bigger is always better. More space means more comfort, less stress, and it's healthier too. When cats are kept in cramped, tiny quarters, it can actually increase the risk of them getting sick. Stress lowers their immune system, and being too close to other cats, even in separate cages, can spread illness more easily. You want your cat to have a comfortable little suite, not a closet. They deserve a room with a view, even if the view is just a wall. It's the principle of the thing. This one might not be the first thing you think of, but it's important. Ask them, is there proper ventilation in here? You've already done the sniff test for cleanliness, but good air circulation is about more than just smells. It's about health. Stale, stagnant air is just a breeding ground for airborne germs. You want fresh air constantly moving through the facility to keep things healthy for all the little furry guests. Now, when we talk about fresh air, you might think of big open windows. And while that sounds lovely for a cat boarding facility, that's actually a huge escape risk. Cats are curious, they're sneaky, and they can fit through spaces you wouldn't think possible. So, what you want to see is a professional ventilation system, like HVAC, or at the very least securely screened windows and doors that let air in but don't let cats out. It's that perfect balance of fresh and secure. Cats need stimulation. They can't just sit in a box all day no matter how nice the box is. So, your next question is, do you have an outdoor area for exercise and mental stimulation? An outdoor space can be a fantastic bonus for a cat. It gives them a change of scenery, new smells to investigate, and a chance to stretch their legs in a bigger space. It's like recess for cats, and who doesn't love recess? And this is a big but, it has to be completely secure. We're talking escape-proof. The ideal setup is what they call a cattery or a run with a solid roof and walls often made of wire mesh. And look at the floor. A smooth, non-porous surface like cement is perfect because it can be easily and thoroughly disinfected between uses. What you don't want to see is a shared grassy area. Grass is impossible to properly sanitize, and it can harbor all sorts of parasites. So, secure and clean is the name of the game for outdoor fun. This is a very important lifestyle question for your cat. You need to ask, do you board dogs here as well as cats? Now, there's nothing wrong with dogs. We love dogs. Dogs are great. But let's be honest, dogs and cats are different. Dogs can be loud. They bark. A lot. And for many cats, the constant sound of barking can be incredibly stressful. Cats are sensitive creatures. They value their peace and quiet. If the facility does board both, that's not automatically a deal breaker. But you need to follow up with, are the cat and dog areas completely separate? And I mean completely. They should be in different rooms, preferably in different wings of the building. The cats should not be able to see or hear the dogs. A good facility understands this, and will have a dedicated, quiet cats-only section to make sure their feline guests have a calm, relaxing, spa-like experience. Not a stuck next to a kennel club experience. Alright, this is probably the most serious question, and you need to feel 100% comfortable with the answer. You have to ask, how do you handle medical emergencies? It's the thing we hope never happens, but you absolutely need to know there's a solid plan in place. What is their protocol if a cat suddenly becomes ill or gets injured? Who makes the call? How do they contact you? A great facility will have this all figured out. They might have a veterinarian on site or on call 24/7, or they'll have a close partnership with a nearby emergency vet clinic. They should be able to tell you exactly which clinic they use and how they would transport your pet there if needed. You should also make sure they have your emergency contact information and your regular vet's information on file. Listen to their answer carefully. You need to feel confident that your cat would be in capable, calm hands if the worst should happen. So there you have it. That's your checklist, your pet detective toolkit. Asking these questions about vaccinations, cleanliness, space, safety, and emergency plans is the absolute best thing you can do to find a wonderful and safe place for your cat. It's not about being difficult or demanding. It's about being a responsible and loving pet owner. You are your cat's advocate, their voice. And they're probably telling you to ask these questions, you just can't hear them. Probably. And after you've asked all the questions and gotten all the answers, there's one last thing to do. Trust your gut, your intuition. How did the place feel? How did the staff make you feel? Were they patient, kind, and did they seem to genuinely love animals? Sometimes you can get all the right answers on paper, but if something just feels off, it's okay to walk away. Your peace of mind is paramount because it's directly linked to your pet's well-being. At the end of the day, you know your cat better than anyone. Choosing the right place means you can go on your trip and actually relax. Knowing your best friend is not just being watched, but is being truly cared for. Thank you so much for watching. Now go give your pet a hug from me, and then dance. Bye-bye.